My name is Cess Mercado, Acting Deputy Chief with the UC Davis Fire Department, and this is our brand new aerial ladder truck from Pierce. All other UC campuses rely on fire protection from the individual cities they're in. UC Davis is unique in the fact that they actually have their own fire department, which we've been there since 1917, so a long time. So it's a very unique situation, unique setup for us, and pretty awesome to be able to have this type of equipment. So when we chose the cab for our build, we chose the Enforcer cab. It met our needs, and one of the big things that's important for us is we're transitioning to a clean cab concept, which everyone is, because all the inherent dangers of being a firefighter, having that clean cab, keeping our personnel safer was really important to us. So when we chose the Enforcer cab, we really were looking at providing a clean cab for our individuals. And we definitely built in a few conveniences for our firefighters in here, especially what I'd like to highlight is the captain's chair. So as you come up here, we wanted everything to be within arm's reach of the officer without them having to do any major movements that would block mirrors or potentially knock over equipment. So radio buttons are actually right within the armrest of the captain's chair, which makes it really easy for the officer to see what they have going on at an incident and be able to relay that information to dispatch and other units responding. And again, the clean cab concept, none of our seats have SCBAs in them. So as you move in and behind into the crew cab as well, it creates a lot more room and space for our individual firefighters as well, and again keeps all contaminants outside of the cab where the firefighters will be sitting and responding. This compartment in particular here is designed and built out for our officer, which there's still a little bit of mounting work that we're going to do with tools, but this is designed to hold their personal equipment, their contaminated equipment, so that it can come back to the station and be cleaned off and safe and ready to use for the next incident. On this aerial ladder truck too, we actually had it built in with a LyfePulley rescue system. You can see a component of it mounted to the side here. So what happens is that this aerial ladder truck can be used to set up a rope rescue system for a potential victim that's off the side of a roadway or off the side of a cliff or a hillside. And we can use this aerial ladder as a boom or a crane to be able to send rescuers over, rescue that person, and then bring them back to safety. So efficiency, it takes less people, it has a greater working load, and it makes it a lot more efficient for our people to quickly get a rescuer over the side to help someone in need. So in this compartment in particular, we're going to be storing our auto extrication stabilization equipment. And in collaboration with Golden State, we had this actually really cool custom rack built for our airbags upon, again, their recommendation. And our other iterations of aerial ladder trucks, we have our airbags stacked on top of each other. They're heavy and cumbersome, and it's kind of hard to select your size. With this rack, you're able to separate them nice and clean to store them, and then when you need to grab one, it's really easy to find which one you want and pull it out easily without having to go through the rigmarole of unstacking. So this was definitely a custom box that was built for us by Golden State, and is going to be really functional for our firefighters. On this next compartment over, for this side of our aerial ladder truck is dedicated to kind of vehicle extrication. And one thing that we work with Golden State is really, we have a lot of equipment, it's heavy, it takes up a big footprint, so it was really important for us to be able to be smart and efficient with how we put our equipment inside of it. And a big thanks to George here at Golden State that really worked with me to be able to design a compartment where we can fit everything into one space and still be efficient, not be overcrowded, and easy to select our equipment. So in this one in particular, it's our struts, or our stabilization struts for vehicle extrication, mounted very cleanly, very nicely. We're able to access the equipment from both sides, depending on the needs of the incident. A lot of heavy equipment, so we also really were smart about mounting heavy things lower for our firefighters so that we can avoid types of injuries, and then put everything that was lightweight up high. And as you can see, it's just really clean, very organized, very detailed. And in the middle of the night when you have to respond to a call, very easy to select the tools that you need and want instead of having to go through and roll a bunch of heavy equipment out of the way and potentially injure yourself or delay response to a vehicle accident. On this aerial ladder truck build as well, the size of compartmentation is great so that when we do go to the clean cab concept, right, we need to have a space for our firefighters to be able to store their equipment. And this compartment in particular is where our backseat firefighters will store their personal equipment and have their breathing apparatuses stored as well. So a cool feature that we had added onto this aerial ladder truck from the recommendation of Golden State is having an additional door actually added up to our chainsaw compartment. So in this compartment, we're going to store our chainsaws, and our chainsaws are used for vertical ventilation. So when our firefighters have to get up on top of a roof to let hot gases and smoke and fire out of a vertical opening for the crews working interior, they're going to be working from this aerial ladder and working with these saws. So having a top access so they don't have to climb up and down is going to be really important for efficiency for that. So not only can they get down and access their saws as well, they can actually even access them from the top and they have a top door access where they're able to pull out their saws, close this back up, and be able to start them and store them in the aerial before they conduct their operations. And then in this rear compartment, this is dedicated to our tiller operator in the back. And a cool feature that we worked with Golden State and Pierce on is actually installing a electrical connection point. So as we use this thing and we want to have more options for the tiller operator to either store radio chargers or flashlights or whatnot, that we have an easy way to connect that to power. And that's a great feature for us, an easy upgrade and easy to install ourselves. In the rear of the ladder truck, we have our ladder compartment. And in this compartment, we store our ground ladders and our hooks that we would use in conjunction with deploying these ground ladders. To continue on with the LyfePulley system, we have a connection at the base of the ladder, and we also have a connection point here at the tip of the ladder. So what's nice is that there's an adaptation point with some pulleys that will incorporate here into the tip of the ladder where we can run our ropes over the edge without any friction, which is going to be really nice and really quick for setup for us. And then what we actually had put on this ladder truck, which is going to be really useful for us. It's one of the small things, but really goes a big way, especially being a fire department on a UC campus here in California, is that there's a lot of bikers, a lot of walkers everywhere we go. And this is a very large piece of equipment. So having cameras that are not only forward facing, but rear facing to be able to see what's around us at all times is a huge add. We've never had camera systems on our apparatus before. This is going to be our first, and I'm already looking forward to seeing how this is going to be deployed out on our campus. And with these aerial ladder trucks, it's got a huge amount of space for all our equipment. Aerial ladder trucks tend to be the toolbox on any type of incident scene, right? So we have all the extra heavy equipment that you're gonna need in order to mitigate an incident. So it's nice to have all the space to be able to store that equipment. It's always gonna be long, it's always gonna be heavy. So having this big extra space to be able to store it is really paramount for us to be able to be efficient on scene. In this compartment, we actually had a toolbox installed, which is definitely a customization that's not with a lot of aerial ladder trucks. So what this allows us to do is store a lot of our basic tools in one place loosely, where we can organize them and easily grab them. So this was a big advantage for us to be able to have a space to be able to store those smaller, looser tools that we use frequently on incidents. And then the other cool addition with this aerial ladder truck is that we have these cameras that are designated to sit with our outriggers. So as we pull into a scene and we're going to deploy this big aerial ladder, we have big stabilizers and supports that come out and actually set down. So what these cameras will allow our driver to do is be able to see if there's any obstructions here for the outrigger. So if there's a vehicle, a pedestrian, or a manhole cover, something that's going to impede us to safely set this up, we'll be able to pick that up in our camera before we even stop the apparatus so that we can efficiently place ourselves on scene. With this apparatus, we actually had an aerial waterway as well installed with it. So this is the connection point for that aerial waterway. And so it's going to make it really easy and efficient for this ladder to be put up in place and be able to provide an elevated stream for fire attack. So our engine pumper can come pull up upside, they can drop off their hose here, and this can be deployed and water can be delivered very quickly. Another cool feature we had put on this truck is we actually have backlighting on all our grab handles on the apparatus, so that at nighttime, not only is it going to make our truck more visible to everybody else, but it just makes it safer for our firefighters so they know exactly where to put their hands and know where their grab points are for getting in and out of the apparatus. And then we also had this continuous windshield put in. In the past, we've had a center bar here where we have two separate pieces of glass. With just having the single windshield, it increases visibility tremendously for our drivers to be able to drive safely, see what they need to see, and get us to where we need to go quickly. This has been a really fun and great experience working with Golden State to design and build our newest ladder truck, and we're really excited to put this thing into service. Our entire fleet at UC Davis is now Pierce, and it's made our maintenance, our training very streamlined and simple, and it's always great to work with Golden State for all our maintenance needs and our new equipment needs.